Welcome back, everybody. That was a quick break, wasn't it? Yeah, that was really quick. This is part 2 of my daily show. Daily, by daily, I mean it is a show that I'm doing on a semi-daily basis. And I say semi because it's weeknights, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Trying. Okay, so yeah, that was a really quick game. The one we just had between Gayfish, aka Kanye West. Yes, that joke has been not funny for about, God, South Park did that like 3 years ago? I don't know. I don't really pay attention to pop culture that doesn't involve StarCraft or other video games. Or really awesome TV shows I like Game of Thrones. I haven't seen this one from last Sunday. Don't tell me what happens. Please don't tell me what happens. Tangents. I go off on them. So we're going to get into a second game. I'm going to cast that one as well. Hopefully my throat maintains maximum efficiency and I'm able to talk and I'll do all the things. I got to pop out of this game first. Come on. So yeah, I took both these replays from RCast, by the way. That's sort of where I've been getting most of them. And I actually really like that community. It's awesome. There's so many cool people on it, and they're featured as a subreddit of the day, like yesterday. So that was really sweet. Nice to see, you know, people having their hard work pay off, and they get some recognition, you know. So I'm gonna pop into this game. Game number 2. Here we go. This is on Newkirk Precinct. Oh yeah. This is actually a nice, quick, easy map, especially if you're Zerg. My goodness, especially if you're Zerg. And speaking of Zerg, spawning in the bottom right corner at the red hatch, we have Wenzil. Wenzil. And over in the bottom left, we have roberT. roberT. Cool. I like it. And here they are. roberT and Wenzil. Excellente. These guys sound like they went to school together. They both sound like those kids that you had in math class. I mean, roberT is a pretty common name, but most people went by Bob or a Rob. You know, like high school. Wenzil definitely sounds like the guy that you cheated off in math class. Or maybe you were the guy that got cheated off in math class. I don't know. I didn't have a very large math class, and it wasn't very easy to cheat. But I will not confess to any sort of cheating. Of course I didn't. What are you talking about? I am a Model A student, even though I got B's. Whatever. Anyways, Wenzil and roberT seem to be pursuing some very basic, easy, standard play. This is actually a different league than the last one. I believe the last one was Platinum that I casted, and this is actually a Masters match. So we'll see some different strategies, probably more exact timings, but both players are playing it really safe. It looks like Wenzil is actually saving up gas to probably go for a hatch first, and yes, he does. The drone heads out while his other one is scouting, and of course, roberT is also scouting in the meantime. He is going to see that Wenzil is taking this hatch first if he does not see a spawning pool coming up in the next few minutes, and he will not, actually, because he will get there in time. He sees the hatchery. He knows that he does not have to worry about any really early aggression, and he goes ahead and says, you know what? I'm going to take my command center now. But, of course, it is a drone on probe battle, and a second probe. SCV comes in to chase away Wenzil's probe, and there's another one going on down here. These guys don't like each other very much. They're not getting along. We're going to have to separate them. The wall-off is continuing to be built for roberT. He is putting up his barracks. And a very early third for Wenzil at 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And roberT is not going to see this. This is a very intensive macro move. It is a risky move if the Terran decides to have any very early bio play. Before even taking his spawning pool, he expands. This is an interesting one. I don't think I've seen this build before, actually. And I'm, full disclosure, I'm only in like Gold League. But yeah, this is an interesting move. Even with this early command center that Wenzil saw roberT taking, he said, you know what, I'm gonna up you one more. You were taking an early command to try to catch up with my early hatch first. I am going to take another hatch. So there. And looking at the production tab, yeah, he's just droning up. He's keeping a tiny tiny bit ahead of roberT's worker supply right now. Not really by much, and of course, you know, it's difficult, especially without a queen, for Zerg players to do this, man. It really is. The spawning pool is almost finished, but right now, pro production is going nowhere, actually, but 2 queens are coming up. All right, 2 queens being produced, 1 at the natural, 1 at the main, and Overlord scouting all over the place to see exactly what roberT's up to make sure that, of course, he's not going to have any early aggression, anything crazy. roberT is, meanwhile, building a second gas well. His third is fully saturated, expecting to see some tech, but only brains coming up right now, and a bunker. And, of course, that command center has been turned into an orbital. So, right now, very macro-intensive. A factory being put down, probably to see some Widow Mine play that we are so used to seeing in HOTS right now. So much popular Terran strategy with the Widow Mines, but of course Hellions are also an option, and of course we'll probably be seeing this barracks lift up and swapping with the factory as soon as it's finished. And it looks like roberT is actually missing out, microing one of his SCVs, not too big a deal, but you know, every little bit of that is lost mining time, man. 4 lings, 3 lings, sorry, 4 lings, no, there is 4 lings, out on the field, 3 lings, 4 lings, 1 ling, 2 ling. And, of course, Wenzil is actually putting a creep tumor down, trying to spread his creep before he injects larvae everywhere, building another queen at his natural base in production. 2 more queens, sorry about that. My goodness, and 2 factories are going down. One of them just finished up over for roberT, and the queens are injecting larvae now that they have finally started spawning creep tumors. And if you go back to the worker supply, we see Wenzil has started to pull away from roberT. He is getting a lot more ahead. He actually has a lot more units than roberT as well. But of course, with the kind of defenses that roberT has right now, not a lot Wenzil's going to be able to do to break into that unless he decides to just mass up some Banes and break down that wall. And I left that open far too long. Forgive me for that, guys. I wasn't even paying attention. And we do see Hellion play coming out right now, so if Wenzil's not careful, he is going to be in a bit of trouble. These queens could, in fact, get roasted down. This base, if it gets spotted, could be in a lot of trouble. If Wenzil is able to spot this, he builds a macro hatch, actually, right now, and 2 evolution chambers. If he does spot these Hellions coming out just in time, which he may not do, he might build some spines, but those lings get toasted, and now Wenzil knows exactly what he's up against. He is not, however, building anything that would help him. Blue Flame is being researched so OP back a few patches ago, several patches ago, I think, in fact. But right now, it's still going to be a lot. It's still going to be a lot to deal with for Wenzil, who only has 2 of his 6, 7, 8, 7 Zerglings. Decent number of Zerglings, okay. But still, a lot of problems. And, of course, I completely missed that 1 Hellion came in to harass the shit out of Wenzil's third base. And now the secret is out. The gig is up. Gig? I don't know what that phrase is. That's like from 1789, isn't it? And this mass of Hellions decides to storm the base while the queens still defend it. A lot of drones right now. Full unit count. Worker supply almost 150% of what roberT has, and those queens are seeing the Hellions saying, ain't getting in here, and they decide to go on back, but a large reinforcing force of Hellions is massing, and that secondary force is going to blue flame down that queen before she can do too much damage, and it's going to say, nah, I'm just going to fly right on by. The lings are not enough. Wenzil is not going to be able to do a whole lot against this, but he is, of course, still only producing queens. Ling speed, he is relying entirely on his queens for any sort of defensive maneuver. Roach Warren is just going down now at the 9.5 minute mark, 9:45, sorry, and this is going to be really, really rough unless he can pull those drones quickly. But he is starting to lose them in droves, and the unit's loss count is going up and up and up for Wenzil. Even though his queens are able to pick off quite a lot of those Hellions, they are way too fast to be able to deal with. Oh my goodness, and all of those drones are getting toasted so fast. Wenzil is doing quite a lot. 2 Roach Warrens are going down, so this seemed to be the eventual strategy right now. And if Wenzil's able to hold this off, he may very well be able to do it. But he has lost quite a lot of mining potential. His income has plummeted down to 900 minerals per minute. And his last fully mined base is getting mercilessly attacked. And not even drone pulling is happening right now, although a 4th base is being taken. So macro, macro, macro. And finally those Hellions get taken down. But roberT is in good shape right now. The units lost is very much in his favor. He has doubled, or he has gotten a double return on investment. The Queens are defending the only mining base, which is also the lair. And right now, we're going to start seeing some roaches pretty soon. Although, we do see melee attacks going down. Ah, there we go. There we go. Cancelled. Must have been a misclick. Missile attacks and Carapace going down. A Overseer for some extra detection, I suppose. Siege tanks being built up. And a Orbital Command Center. Orbital Commanding. Finished now. Looks like a third expansion is going to go down. But these Overlords are seeing everything on the map. And, of course, the Lings are seeing what they cannot. 2 armories actually built for roberT. I've not been paying roberT enough attention this game. I'm so sorry. He has built 4 freaking factories, man. He's getting Thors, because he knows there's roaches coming. He's building Hellbats, because he wants to toast them. My goodness. My goodness, this will be an epic battle when it happens. Glial Reconstitution coming out, so roach speed. Even though there are not any roaches in production just yet, an infestation pick goes down as the roaches, the non-existent ones that is, still get pumped, still getting upgraded. But of course, we see 4 more Hellions to the harass. And there are no queens at this base of Wenzil's over on the corner of this 4th base. It could get totally nuked down. A lot of these drones could be lost. And roberT is going to continue his reign of terror with the Hellions, who can then just continue to do so much damage to all of Wenzil's units. Spore Crawler's going down to fend off any type of air harassment, but that's not going to help a lot. These Queens will be able to clean this up, but not before a lot of drones go down. And roaches are finally starting to come out. We see that there are 12 of them out on the field. And do they have speed? They do not have speed, but they're damn close to it. What is the income at right now? It looks like Wenzil is actually still far behind, but he is macroing very intensively. Even though he has lost a lot of his units, he is continuing to be very defensive. He has not once done a aggressive move since he attacked this early expansion with the drone. And my goodness, that is an oversaturated base. Wenzil, roberT, that is looking to move out, and he in fact will with this Hellbat, Thor, and Siege Tank army. Little force, really, that he has. Very, very much a tech kind of thing. We take a look at the unit composition. There's still only a dozen roaches on the field. 9 swarm hosts, so a full ground assault being planned for roberT. This will be interesting. Mech versus swarm hosts, as the title said, and I completely forgot. And, of course, all drone production has been cut at this time. We see a Hydra Den going down, 2 more swarm hosts in production, and Enduring Locusts, yeah, I always forget what it's called, 2 and 2 for the Zerg ground, so committed to a ground force assault, but a lot more siege tanks and Hellbats being built up over on roberT's side of the field, who is also taking another command center to hopefully expand out with. This is a very, very tech, very macro-y game, even though that awesome Hellion harass that roberT was able to pull off earlier has set Wenzil back a bit. The Zerg player is just able to come so far up, especially with this lack of harassment now. And he just has a lot of stuff, man. He is upgrading really, really well. We see vehicle and ship plating and attack going down. So very heavy mech, not a lot of bio. And this force is in fact moving out. The Hellbats, the siege tanks, and the 3 Thors. No SCVs to repair, but still, this is going to be very scary. That queen better get the hell out of there. And she decides to go very much a bravery move and just gets fired down. So, oh, those overlords, they should not be there right now, but the swarm hosts are planting and getting prepared for an assault. The roaches are coming up, not too many of them, and some hydras, of course. Swarm hosts and the locusts are on the way out, and they're getting target fired for the most part, but they are completely free, if you recall. So Wenzil is actually doing pretty good on this. He is maxed out just about on units. He retreats. The swarm hosts are ready for a secondary assault. And there come the locusts. The siege tanks are getting in position, but they are already very, very, very close. The free locusts are there. They are absorbing quite a lot of damage, but looks like Wenzil is not quite committed to this assault just yet. He is going to try and focus fire down the Thors, even though those siege tanks are very, very, very dangerous right now. And his 2 and 2 are almost done, but not quite. They will not finish up for this engagement with most of these units. But it looks like roberT is actually going to lose this because of those continuous locusts, man. And he lost quite a lot of minerals and resources there, and just like that, the game is evened up. All of the harassment that was going on Robert, or on Wenzil's side of the field from Robert, has been completely evened out by this last engagement. A few Hydras moving out on their own. The Swarm hosts are just slowly behind them. And even though there's a large force here, those Swarm hosts, man, they can absorb damage like you wouldn't believe, while these Hydras do quite a lot. So what's in production right now? Ooh, Hydra speed, Zerg 3 3s, so full upgrades, and of course ship weapons, vehicle weapons, and 2 starports. Well, these Hydralisks say, hey, I'm going to take this base out if you don't mind. And they might actually get it. Oh my goodness, Robert is not even moving out. He's defending this other base right now. He's not, oh, he's starting to move out, but he's not going to get there in time. And that command center goes down for the price of a half a dozen Hydras, who might even get away if they're lucky. They don't have speed yet, but most of them do get out. And the Swarm hosts are planted firmly and ready to go. They are not, the Locusts are not actually attacking. So we see Wenzil's field. He sees quite, he does not actually see this base here. Oh. But now he sees that a giant army going right now, and of course, I don't think there's enough energy left for a, there was enough energy left for a scan. Oh my goodness, and the Swarm hosts are going to take terrible, terrible damage. But they are still going to get off a few volleys, and they're going to back themselves up. So are the Hydralisks. Another scan goes down. One Hydra does get nuked. Decent loss right there. That was not a great engagement for Wenzil. He he's still a little bit ahead of Robert, though, because these expensive mech units keep getting taken out. Even though there are, oh my goodness, a dozen siege tanks and about half a dozen Hellbats ready to expand again. It looks like Robert is, but we are seeing the forces of Wenzil moving out. He is near close to maxing, and there are just so many creep tumors out on this map. They are not being spread all the time and not as fast as possible, because Wenzil is also trying to keep himself very, very, very on top of his own army rather than the rest of his economy, which he does have a sufficient amount of right now. His income is still actually behind Robert right now. He has less harvesters. He's got far more bases, but he's not really maxed on, you know, any of them. Of course, this one's almost depleted, but he's only got 10 in his natural. He's got 7 in his third, even though it's getting a bit low. He's got 7 in his fourth, and of course his fifth only has 8. So he's not producing a lot of drones because he wants to have all of these Swarm hosts right now. He wants to have all the Swarm hosts, and that Overlord is making expansion life hard for Robert, trying to keep his macro down just a little bit, while there is, in fact, 3 bases, one of which completely mined out just about. The second one is also very close to mined out and is extremely oversaturated. Robert was really hoping to move out. He has far too many SCVs, so we did see the worker count being ridiculously high. Well, of course, it didn't need to be as high as Wenzil's, but it's actually over by about 10, and the army supply is tilted in Wenzil's favor right now because he's maxed out, man. And, god damn, that is a lot of Swarm hosts. How many is that? 26 Swarm hosts. That's a lot of Locusts, man, and he is just letting them meat shield while the Hydras sit there. Not all of them are in range, but they are getting there. The splash damage from the siege tanks doing quite a lot of damage to them, but they're going to have to back up if they want to deal with these Banshees. And of course, there are also Ravens. A lot of tech, very, very committed meching, teching, stuff like that. But of course, the Swarm host doing the tried and true pick up, drop down your Locust. Man, I can't really speak today. I apologize. Dropping down those Locusts and then retreating, but a few of them do get target fired down by the Banshees. We haven't seen a lot of Banshees lately. I haven't, anyways. But this game is all about macro. Really is. Even the engagements are very much to gain a slight economic advantage. The creep spread really needs to be a little further out, but it's difficult with a lot of these siege tanks that are not quite sieged up. They're going to be slightly out of position just in time for a couple of the Swarm hosts to come out, and will these Hydralisks hold on long enough to be able to take out these, oh my goodness, these Banshees. One's going to fall, a second one, a third is getting close, and they decide, 2 of them get away as they cloak, but all of those Hydras get taken out, and the siege tanks were just too much for the Swarm host army. So, it'll be interesting to see what goes down next. A couple of Vipers to pull some of those sieges and a lot more Hydras, so very committed to this. We see 3 ship plating and ship weapons number 2 coming out as more and more siege tanks are being produced, and of course a couple more Banshees and Hellbats. And he's finally getting 1 attack melee so these Locusts can get upgraded, I think. Oh my god, I'm such a derp. The Locusts actually have range attacks. Of course they do. I'm an idiot. And it is complete target practice while the Locusts get fired down by this massive amount of siege tanks. And creep spread finally going through. Okay, Wenzil is not worried about his economy right now. He has quite a lot of minerals in the bank. He's not spending them because he's, of course, entirely maxed out. He could sack these Swarm Hosts and go for Infestor Broodlord right now and do a lot of damage to this composition, but he's not going for that. Instead, he's committed to the Swarm Host Assault. We'll see if that pays off for him in the long run or not, but he does have a decent bit of units, and of course, nothing is being lost here. Absolutely nothing is being lost by these Locusts. They are really good for scouting, and if he can bait out those Banshees, who are also trying to bait out those Hydralisks, this is a total game of chicken right here in the middle of the map as the creep spread starts continuing down, and Wenzil is trying to keep map control. He does have a majority of the map under his control, so right now he is in the better position. He has slightly higher supply, and neither player is really budging from their build. A few differences. We see roberT got some Banshees. He decided to transition to Hellbats in that early part of the game, but both players are still pretty much committed to what they're doing. I don't know why roberT hasn't expanded up here. He clearly needs to be doing it. His income is actually dropped below Wenzil's by a significant amount. His gas is also much lower, so he's not going to be able to replenish nearly as fast. And against the Zerg player, that is absolutely essential. These Vipers now that Wenzil has, a couple, 4 of them, are, if they get in position, the pull could be very deadly. And these siege tanks are getting a little ballsy. They're getting up closer to the front, and one of them does take quite a lot of damage. If the engagement does go off, if these Swarm Hosts pop up right here, we will see possibly some pulls, but right now it looks like Wenzil's just clear to let this one go on autopilot. He is very, very happy with that right now. He is controlling the map. He is running the show. Even though roberT is able to expand, this is going to be seen very quickly, and maybe these Hydras will run in, try to do a hit and run of sorts, take out a lot of these probes, and they'll be able to very quickly, by the way, but they're not going for it. They are deciding to retreat right now for the moment while the Swarm Hosts move up a little bit. Perhaps they will be doing the damage themselves. No, they're going to burrow again, and they're going to keep popping out units. Map control is, once again, still in the favor of Wenzil, but only just, and the supply has all but evened out. Going back to production, we see a Spire going down for Wenzil now. So maybe there is a tech switch on the way for both players, a battle cruiser or two coming out, and, of course, this base and all of these Locusts are coming out to say, hey, guys, how's it going? You're not expanding near me. But right now, this mech force is coming in, seeing as how the Locusts have used up their, well, the Swarm Hosts have used up their Locusts for the time being, and a sort of half-hearted assault, to be honest. Not entirely committed, but a lot of things for Wenzil go down. Again, we're just about dead even. And, wow. I really think roberT got the better of that despite this replenishing supply. That's really just more due to the fact that the Zerg player can literally just replenish anything that gets thrown his way. If you take a look, case in point, production. Actually, a lot of Roaches and a bunch of Hydras going down. Wenzil's now supply blocked as he has sacrificed a couple of Overlords to this battle of attrition, really. A lot of Roach Hydra, and that is a very nice tried and true thing. At this late in the game, 29, 30 minutes, they're a little bit less effective, and of course, they're running right into that Banshee and all of those tanks who have just a ridiculous range. But are they going to go? They are a little bit late to the party, and they're somewhat behind. Oh my goodness, Wenzil's going to lose all of those. And now roberT is in great position to move up and take this map control, that the center of the map that has eluded him since the beginning of the game, since first 10 minutes, frankly. 30 minutes into this game, this is very long. This feels like a lot like, you know, like a Thorazane kind of play, you know? He's very, very... And I hesitate to compare to pros all the time because I really don't always know what I'm talking about. But very, very heavy on, we're going to macro up, we're going to sort of turtle, but not really. We're going to keep somewhat aggressive, but really only as a feint to get the economic advantage. Then we're just going to, like, build up this massive tech army and hope for, like, an epic 200-200 battle right in the middle of the map. That's exactly what I see when I watch Thorzane's games, and they are awesome. So, Wenzil, roberT, you guys reminded me of some pro matches. I like it a lot. That is, like, I hope that's a really good compliment. I may not be a very good player. Well, I think I'm good. I may not be, like, you know, nearly that high a league or whatever, but I think it's a lot of fun watching this match. And it's, like, tense because you never know what's going to happen. Like that. Viper says, I want that Raven. Give me that Raven. Ugh. Swarm Host takes a point. Not defense drone. What are those things called? Little balls of death that come out of the Ravens. I hate them, whatever they are. They always kill my mutas. And, of course, this continued war of attrition from Wenzil. 5 of those swarm hosts are buried nearby to stop the advancement. Only 4 bases for the Terran player, and there really aren't any more to take because this one is being covered right now every time he tries to expand. So right now, Wenzil, if this game just continues the way it is right now, Wenzil's going to win this just purely on macro. I mean, he's going to slowly pick away at these forces, and yes, the Vipers do grab those tanks and nuke some of them down with... well, one's going to get away. These locusts are just a bit too slow. But map control's back in Wenzil's favor now. Now, if he takes these creep tumors and expands a little bit up, oh, he better plant those really quickly before they get nuked down. Oh, my goodness. Swarm hosts aren't know what to do right now. There they go. They burrow. Yep. And let's take a look at the units, man. Oh, my goodness. 19 swarm hosts, bunch of queens, bunch of vipers, 20 hydras who are... Where are those hydras at? They're scattered all over the place. But yeah, right now Wenzil is just very slowly, aggressively, but passive-aggressively spreading his creep while he keeps these locusts that these swarm hosts he is just fully committed to right now. And the battlecruisers say, nope, that's my tech switch. What you gonna do about it? This is a tough position for Wenzil. I actually should have seen these coming. I saw a couple of them, but I just didn't pay any attention. So right now, Wenzil, he needs to get some anti-air, man, because that's a lot of battlecruisers. He starts sacrificing his Vipers and some of his less valuable units to start building up some other things. But right now in production, we see a lot more Hydralisks and, of course, Spore Crawlers all over the map. Where all over the map? Right there all over the map. To try and maintain that map control, a giant wall of Spore Crawlers. And if roberT doesn't see this, they're going to get up in time. He's not going to be able to cross that without taking quite a lot of terrible, terrible damage. A lot more Hydras in production. Hydras, of course, are very well upgraded at 3 and 3, but so are these battle cruisers. Look at that. Weapon refit, Terran ship weapons, and plating. Yeah. These are maxed out battle cruisers, and they're going to do a lot of damage right now. And they're actually going to avoid this little wall of death right here that Wenzil has put up, and hopefully he will get away with those Hydras. He needs to put up more walls of death. He needs to do a lot more countering right now, but he is doing a lot of damage to these battle cruisers. If roberT loses these, it is bad news for him. Those are 400 minerals and a lot of gas. I can't remember exactly how much each. And roberT only has his partial force here. These battlecruisers are going to do quite a lot of damage, but those Spore Crawlers is a bad place to engage, even though he is losing all of his... Even though Wenzil is losing all of his Hydralisks. Yep, and he is down to 16 swarm hosts that he has decided to keep there while he sends a couple more of them out and leaves the rest here. He really could be moving up right now, but at the moment he is very concerned with his base because there are still a lot of battlecruisers to be reckoned with, and there is no anti-air whatsoever for Wenzil in this particular area. 3 Hydras come out. They are not going to do a thing. They will get toasted down, and so will these queens. More Hydras being massed up at the base, but not nearly enough to deal with this massive force of battlecruisers. A couple of tanks coming in as well, and for some reason a mule repairing. I guess that's useful. That's legit. I didn't even know mules could repair, man. God, I have so much to learn still. Corruptors now coming out. Of course, something I entirely missed. 17 of them to try and deal with roberT's gigantic force right now. Ugh. And he still has swarm hosts that are slowly picking away at each base. So this is actually... It may not really feel like it, but this is actually a base race right now. We'll see how it goes. But where are those corruptors? My goodness. Oh, no. The spire gets fired down. Hopefully these corruptors can do a lot of damage, but not enough of them have been massed up. We do not see quite enough going on. Wenzil is in big, big trouble here. He says LOL. He is hurting so bad, but he is doing quite a lot of damage. Even so. You so don't deserve this, he says. WTF. A little bit, perhaps, upset that he has not been able to finish off roberT. But Wenzil still moving into bases with his swarm host. He has been a bit committed to this tech all game. roberT, in fact, did make the tech switch, and these battlecruisers paid off for him in a big way because Wenzil was not able to make the switch to accommodate just in time. And even on fewer bases, the Terran player has done so much. Wenzil now almost abandoning a good chunk of his micro. He is still sitting pretty on 2 bases, but they are... Only one of them is not mined out. 3 bases. That one is still existing. My bad. But this massive battlecruiser force is doing a good job of cleaning up everything Wenzil has on the field. And these swarm hosts are not going to be enough to really do a whole lot. Drones are running away as fast as they can from this critical mass of this ridiculous Terran fleet right now. And combined with these Ravens, wow, I couldn't think of the word. The swarm hosts are going to be next. But roberT's not even going to worry about them right now. He is saying, I'm going to take out all your anti-air, prevent you from doing anything to me in the future, and then I'm going to take out your swarm hosts. But Wenzil's not out of this just yet. He is still committing to expanding again in this top left corner. But right now, roberT really, I mean, there's not a lot that can stop him. There's not a lot. The income has dropped down to, it's still at 760. Of course, roberT doesn't have any income whatsoever because he can't really mine. But it doesn't matter. GG. Wenzil leaves the game. These battlecruisers were just too much for him, man. Holy shit. You know, I really thought Wenzil was going to win this game. I really did, man. He had a big advantage. I think the real turning point, the real telling part of this game was when roberT made the tech switch, and I totally ignored it because I knew he was building these starports. I kind of, like, out of the corner of my eye, saw that he had a, where is that thing? What do you call it? I don't remember the word. Fusion core. It's around, it probably got killed. The fusion core, I didn't even see it going down, but he made this tech switch while this was just a complete war of attrition, and it really was anyone's game at that point. Wenzil was going to win that eventually, with the you know, massive these swarm hosts that he had, and he's kept on Hydras. He probably should have scouted a little bit more later on. He probably should have, you know, signed, oh, I've got a fusion core. He's gonna get these battlecruisers. I better get corruptors and just mass them and sacrifice these guys and turn them into broodlords, or maybe even infestors. I mean, infestors would have helped a lot against these guys, especially with their beefed up Yamato cannons. Holy hell. But he didn't, and you know, it was a very macro-intensive game, and I think when you play like that, when you're focusing heavily on keeping a strategy going and you know you're going to win eventually with it and the other guy isn't changing very much, it's very easy to think, yeah, I'm just going to win this out and out, and there's nothing he can do. But every once in a while, they do something like this, where they pull out a complete tech switcheroo, and you don't attack them for like 5 minutes while they do it, and you're just like, shit, when you see all these battle cruisers. So it was a really good game, though. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It was 40 minutes long. I did not know it was that long. So I think I might have filled my hour, actually, for this show. Yeah, I'm going to upload this on YouTube. Hey, roberT, Wenzil, great game. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to pound the GG button for you. It was good. A little bit of bad manners on both players today. Or not this game. Not just this game. You know, I like to see people being good sports, but I understand when you're really committed into it and you're just like, oh, die, switch to battle cruisers, what the fuck? Hey man, that's StarCraft though. Anything can happen. Alright, I'm out of this game, and I hope you had fun watching. Follow me on Twitch TV/Pyrotechnics if you liked it. I do this regular show, 8 p.m. It's usually about 9 weeknights. I'm just starting it right now, so I'm still thinking of a name and a format, tossing things around. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Also follow me on YouTube if you like. That is YouTube/Mr. Pyrotechnics, because somebody took Pyrotechnics. Pyrotechnics. Like pyro, but with pirate. Yeah, it's a very clever name, I know. Alright, I hope you enjoyed it. But for now, we are saying goodbye. Later.